Hello everyone and welcome back to the Inner Sanctum YouTube channel. Today I will be talking about Connor Rozee and his position for 2022 and how he would like to make a statement going into this new year. He's been struggling a little bit with a couple of injuries over the last couple of years with his foot and a little bit of a knee niggle as well. But coming into this preseason, he's had a full preseason before and after Christmas, no hassles whatsoever. And today I had the privilege of attending his press conference via Zoom, and he talked about not only the injuries, the fresh injuries of Orazio Fantasia and Charlie Dixon and how long they will be out for, but more importantly, he talked about as well his form and how he would like to carry a little bit more consistency into 2022, especially now that he looks to be a full-time midfielder, which in my personal eyes, I can't wait to see what he can produce. But he definitely mentioned as well that he would like to be that consistent type. And wherever he may need to play in the end is definitely up to Ken and the crew. But he's overall very excited to be playing in the midfield.
What have you changed going into this preseason, if you have changed anything? You mentioned you've had a full preseason, which has been something you haven't had for a little bit. Have you changed anything in your preparation, both at the club or away personally?
Yeah, the main thing for me was the consistency of my training. Like I said before, the injuries sort of made me have, two or 3 months off at a time where I had to spend most of the later part of pre-season just trying to get my fitness back up and getting used to getting back part of the group. So it's been nice just to come back fully fit and actually be working on my game this time of the season. With the plan to go into the midfield a bit more, I've obviously got to improve my consistency with my inside game, combining that with my strengths, which are probably more on the outside. So it's been nice to have a full pre-season where I can improve my fitness and not spend most of it just trying to get back up to speed.
I did ask him as well about his his personal goals and what he'd like to achieve going into this year. There hasn't been a lot already said about the great forms of Zach Butters, Xavier Dersma, the young guns coming through like Lockie Jones and certain other players that are really pushing to have take that next step going into this year. But Connor personally, definitely he would like to make a statement in 2022. I think it's one of those years where you just think maybe he takes that next step above everyone else. And we've seen more than just glimpses of what he can produce in games. 5 goals against Geelong last year, in the 4 of those in the first quarter. He's a match winner. He can kick free goals and do all those things. Consistency has, as I mentioned, is his key. And I did ask him about, as I said, personal goals going into this year. He doesn't have any, and he mentions that here.
Have you set any personal goals for yourself for this year, or has it been purely more team-based and getting into the midfield and having a consistent year?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You've summed it up. I want to get in the midfield more and have more of an impact on games. It's hard to sort of set specific goals in terms of numbers and that sort of thing, but our plan is to play finals again and go deep, and I want to have as big an impact as well as the other young boys, as big an impact as I can. So, that's the plan at this stage.
Team mindset, that seems to be the way Port Adelaide are going about it this year, which is great to see. And I think when you have a player like Connor's ability, and he's definitely focused on the team performance, and he knows what he can get out of himself. He knows he needs to work hard and produce some quality football for Port Adelaide to be contending, and obviously that comes with 21 other players as well. But he wants as well, and he did mention throughout the press conference that having not to rely on the Boaks and the Ollie Wines in the midfield, and having that depth with Sam Powell-Pepper maybe coming through, and as well as himself, Zach Butters going into there a lot more, Xavier Dersma, Carl Amon even, and there's many others that can run through that midfield. Having that reliability on not just those 2 key ones, but also having that depth is a massive target for Port Adelaide this year. And if he can be one of those that becomes into that main 3, that main 4, and having Robbie Gray as such playing more time down forward, it could definitely prove dividends for Port around the ground, but also around in the inside 50 performance as well. It does, though, concern us a little bit that for Port Adelaide fans in particular, that Charlie Dixon and Orazio Fantasia, just a little side note for them, an ankle injury for Charlie Dixon and then another knee injury for Orazio, both looking to have clean outs, and and the extent of the injuries are a little bit unknown at this stage, but they could be a long-term prospect for both, which leaves many doors to open up for other possibilities for other players. Jeremy Finlayson coming in as well could be a great asset. Now that Charlie Dixon could be on the sidelines for a little bit, and Orazio, well, a small forward going down. Port Adelaide do have quite a few of those in stock, and Connor did say that he could definitely play back down there if need be. So there's plenty of stocks, there's plenty of options for Port Adelaide going into this year. And also, I did ask Connor Rozee about who stood out the most from the new draftees, and he did mention the one and only Josh Sinn and also Burgoyne as well.
Have any of the young boys stood out? Any of the first-year players, the draftees, that stood out to you?
Yeah, Joshy Sinn and Jace Burgoyne have been really good. Joshy Sinn's been really good. He's been working with the midfield group, so I've seen him probably the most, and he's been really impressive. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a bit of him throughout the season.
It was great to have Connor's presence today in the press conference. A massive contribution he will have in 2022, no doubt, for Port Adelaide fans to get excited. Definitely looking forward to seeing what he can produce across this season in the midfield. A dynamic prospect for Port, and one to definitely keep your eye on throughout the season, Port fans. So let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about Connor Rozee's season and also the prospects for Port Adelaide coming into 2022. Thank you so much for watching this Inner Sanctum video. My name's Anthony Alessiani. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the newsletter as well for all the amazing articles that everyone is producing throughout the Inner Sanctum family. Thank you for your support. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.